As they enter the garden, it is a rolling exhibit. You're walking among hills and the trains run up on either side of you.
This is the Garden Railway, one of many gardens located in the Morris Arboretum of the University of Pennsylvania. Located in Chestnut Hill, Philadelphia, this arboretum consists of 92 acres of plants, trees, flowers, and trains. Horticulturist Iana Turner said so many of the garden railways that are done now are very flat, but this exhibit is interesting because of the way it is laid out.
Part of the magic of this exhibit as the trains appear and disappear around curves in the track, and it's much more mysterious in the exhibit.
This railway garden was originally a heath and heather garden. The railway started with 3 tracks, 3 train loops, and a trolley line. There are now 16 trains running at all times.
10 of them are loops, large loops.
It's going in a circle.
And then we have some that are on reverse lines, which we call our trolley lines. We have 10 of those, so there are 16 trains altogether.
The garden has over about 200 feet more than a quarter mile, about 1,400 feet of track. And it is a challenge to keep them clean.
Bruce Morell, train master at the Arboretum, fell in love with trains when he was a boy.
Stripping a gear.
We have a variety of trains, diesel, steam, and toy trains that are representative of Thomas-type toy trains.
He displays and runs a variety of trains throughout the day and from week to week, and that keeps the exhibit interesting.
We have a lot of aristocrat locomotives because they seem to give me the best longevity for the dollar, and they're easy to repair. We have LGB as well, some of the older variety and some of the newer, more recent manufacture. And the problem with LGB is it's hard to get parts for them, so to keep them going is difficult. That's why we like the Aristocrat, because the parts are usually available and are easy to repair.
We use a lot of companies that are also here started here in the States. I use Bachmann, big manufacturers here. But one of the interesting things is we're G scale, which means we can run outdoors. You see a lot of other scales, but this is a lot more fun and they're much easier to work on because they're much larger. They make them, the electronics and everything, protected against the weather so that it's much easier to bring outside. You have little flaws every once in a while, but in general, we can run them snow or rain, ice, we run them.
The Garden Railway exhibit is forever evolving, with the theme changing yearly along with the layouts.
We bring in around 14 different buildings. This year it's Storytale Rail, Humpty Dumpty and Rapunzel's house, the old woman that lived in a shoe. What makes these buildings so magical is the fact they're made out of all natural materials, bark, different pieces of pine cone, twisted limbs off trees, and it just makes it much more magical because there's imagination in the buildings too.
There are some structures on the layout that are a constant and don't change. They are just moved around.
We have a lot of the inner city Philadelphia buildings, our Independence Mall, a lot of our Independence Hall, and a lot of the other things that are very important here. I move them around all the time. It makes it a lot more fun because sometimes people won't have noticed it the previous year and it looks like a brand new home. We have set up a children's area, particularly where we run Thomas trains primarily. No matter how much you feel about Thomas, there isn't a 2-year-old and up that doesn't know the Thomas and all the engines.
Don't touch, sweetheart.
I just enjoy their love of the trains. how they get so excited. I mean, some of them do jigs, some of them run around here, hither and yon, chasing one.
The first year that the trains opened, we were a sleepy, quiet little garden, and we've grown with other exhibits. But this was one of the first exhibits that really started to put us on the map. In the first year, we had 800 new memberships. So trains in the garden has become a very popular thing in the country as a whole, and we were one of the first gardens to bring them outside.